ช่วงต่อไปนี้ก็เป็นช่วงถามตอบคำถามส่งไมค์ไปให้ผู้หญิงข้างหลังหน่อยคนที่นั่งข้างเสาคนที่นั่งข้าง
We have a question from our friend. She is sick and she couldn't come here. So she is in Bat Yan, but she couldn't come for the meeting. And she is asking, when we are practicing and we understand that all the diseases, they are just defilements of the mind, should we just meditate more when we get sick, or should we start to take medicine?
Well, sickness is not the thing that we want to overcome. If the body gets sick, if we can find medicine to fix it, we fix it. But the problem that arises with sickness is our mind becomes sick also. This we can stop the sickness of the mind, the suffering, the stress that arises when you get sick. You can stop the stress by practice meditation and vipassana. If you have vipassana, you understand that this is the nature of the body to get sick, and no one can stop it from getting sick. So when you get sick, you just have to learn to accept the sickness. Don't try to deny, or don't try to get rid of it when you cannot. Let it come and go by itself. It's like a weather. You get the rain, it comes and then it goes. You don't do anything with the rain. You just tell your mind to learn to accept the rain. Same way with the body sickness. When the body gets sick, there's nothing you can do except wait for it to disappear. If you have medicine or way to treat it, you treat it. But your mind should not suffer or have any stress from it. If your mind just accept it.
But we can take medicine like to cure physical body, or it's better just to work with our mind for it not to be affected by the disease.
If you can accept it and not treat it, that's better. Then you're ready to let the body die. Then there's no need to treat the body, and your mind is peaceful from accepting getting sick and dying.
Okay, thanks. Another question is about how does, if a person becomes Sotapanna in the previous life, can he understand in this life that he is Sotapanna, or it is not possible because he doesn't have memory about the previous life?
It's not the memory of being a Sotapanna, but the state of being a Sotapanna will remain with the mind after the body dies. And this state of Sotapanna will always be with the mind, regardless of where you were born, when will you be born again. And the state of Sotapanna is that the Sotapanna understand the nature of the body, the five khandha. Know that it is anicca, dukkha, anatta. And the Sotapanna will not be attached to the five khandha. Can accept aging, sickness, and death without any fear. This will go with the Sotapanna. There is no name attached, no label attached. This is Sotapanna, but just being a Sotapanna, understanding the nature of the five khandha, understand the nature of the body, and not being attached to the body. Let go of the attachment to the body.
And what are the characteristics of the next stages, like Anagami, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahant? Does the practice change from one stage to another?
Yes, you still have more defilement you have to clear, you have to get rid of. The next defilement you want to get rid of is your sexual desire. In order to get rid of sexual desire, you have to look at the body as being asukha, not beautiful, not pleasant to look at. By looking under the skin, see the hidden parts of under the body, such as the skeleton, the heart, the lung, the liver, the intestines, for instance. If you can see this all the time, then you will have no sexual desire. Then you can become the anagami, the third level of enlightenment. And the fourth level of enlightenment, you have to understand the nature of your mind. That there's no self in the mind. There's just thinking but no thinker. There's knowing but no knower. If you understand this, then you can become an arahant.
Okay, thank you very much. Another question is, can a lay person become arahant, or only you need to ordain to become arahant?
Ordination is not the prerequisite for becoming an arahant, but it is very helpful to ordain because you have more time to practice. But the requisite to become an arahant is to be able to have wisdom and samadhi. If you have samadhi, the fourth jhana, and you can see everything as anicca, dukkha, anatta, you understand the Four Noble Truths, then you can become an arahant, regardless of whether you are ordained or not ordained. But being ordained gives you more time to practice. But if you somehow in your previous life you already was a sotapanna, then you might not need to ordain, and you can continue practicing and become an arahant.
Were there any cases when lay people could become arahants? So usually, I understand that they don't have much time, but were there any examples?
Well, there are a few examples, but it's not quite well known. We know two cases of women who ordained, keep the 8 precepts, and they are arahant. 8 of 10 precepts. Mechi Gyal. She's one of the Ajahn Man's disciples. And there's another woman in another province called Ko Khao Suan Luang. She is also believed to be an arahant. But she's not. Well, she's considered to be an 8 preceptor. But she has all the time to practice.
Thanks. Okay. How to work with sanya? Like we usually work with samkara, we try to prevent us from reacting in craving or aversion, but actually it's sanya that is creating, like it is good, it is bad, that starts all this process. And one person from our group, he said when he is working with Vedananupassana, then some sanya comes up and he sees the world from some perspective, like he sees only bad things when bad feelings are on his body. He sees only good things when good feelings, pleasant feelings are on the body. So how to work with sanya directly, how to change these like glasses that we see the world in a deluded way.
You change glasses. You look at things differently. Sanya wants us to see that there's a self in everything. So we have to see there's no self. Sanya likes to see everything is permanent. We have to change. This is not permanent. So when you contemplate on anicca, dukkha, anatta, you're changing sanya.
The question is, how does reborn happen? When a person dies, is it one samkara that leads us, that chooses the world where we get a body? Or how does it happen when a person dies?
Well, right now when we are alive, the mind connects to the body through vijnana. One of the 4 nama khandha is vijnana. Vijnana is a connector that connects the mind to the eye, ear, nose, tongue and body. So when the body dies, this connector will be disconnected, and the mind will then go and reconnect with a new body. Because the mind still have cravings for seeing, hearing, the mind still wants to have contact with the sensual objects. So the mind will go look for a body that has the five internal organs: the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body. So it can use this eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body to connect to forms, to images, to sound, to taste and smell, and so forth. So it's just a connection, like 2 telephones connecting with the radio wave. The mind and the body is connected by the psychic wave, the mental wave of the mind. The mind sends the mental wave to connect to the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. When the body dies, this connection is disconnected. So the mind go look for a new body to reconnect.
Does it happen immediately, like when a person dies, like next moment his mind will be attached to some baby?
It depends on how much good or bad karma you have. If you have more good karma than bad karma, you will exist in heaven for a while. Enjoy the fruit of your good karma. If your bad karma is more than your good karma, then you will have to be in hell. You will exist as a hungry ghost, or take a birth of an animal. Until your good and bad karma balance, then you will be allowed to go and take a new body.
Are there any advice how to behave when you are dying? Like just observing our mind, or is it any special practice when you are dying or somebody is dying?
This is not something you can do when you're dying. You have to prepare yourself for it before you die. That's why the Buddha teaches us to practice samadhi or wisdom. This is the best way to let go of your body when you die. If you have samadhi, you just go into samadhi, and then you will not be affected by the death of the body. If you have wisdom, you understand the nature of the body as anicca, impermanent, as anatta, as not being yourself. So you just leave it alone. Don't do anything. Let it die. Then there will be no stress, no suffering in the mind. But you have to practice this before you die, not waiting until the last moment and do it, because you will not be able to do that. It's like taking examination. Before you can take examination, you have to study first. You have to do your homework first. Once you have done your homework, when you take the examination, then you can do it. You can answer all the questions. Same way, when you die, it's the time when you take the examination. So you need to study, do your homework, practice samadhi, practice wisdom. So when you die, you will know how to let go of your body.
Thank you very much. And there is also a question, like now we are from Russia and we have this military conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And one person from our group, he is asking, can we, if we are Buddhist, if we are following the way of Buddha, can we go to the army, or we should never go? Because sometimes they ask to shoot another people and it breaks our shila. But we also need to protect our country. So how to...
It depends which one you want to give importance to, your country or your sila. If you want to give importance to your sila, then you will not go. You will not kill. But you might be an army officer or whatever. But when you go into the battle, you don't shoot at anybody. You shoot at the sky.
And he also asks, if it happens like somebody is going to kill, for example, your mother or somebody in front of you, so your choice is to kill this person or to let your mother die. So, what to do?
Well, you just have to, you just don't kill. You might shoot him to disable him, but don't kill him, that's all. But if you cannot do that, then you just have to accept maybe it's the time for your mother to die. Or you can take her place by standing in front of her and let the other person kill you instead of your mother.
Also there is a question, should we look for a teacher to guide us on the way? One person asked, or we just work, we meditate, and then the teacher we will meet him on some day.
If you don't know the way, then you have to look for somebody to guide you. If you don't have a guide, then you might be going on the wrong direction. And the best guide is the Buddha and his noble disciple. You can follow the Buddha by reading his teaching in the scripture. If you cannot find a living teacher, then study the teaching of the Buddha in the scripture as your teacher. But if you can find a living teacher, someone who can guide you, then you should go and study from that teacher, because it will be easier for you to practice than to go on your own.
Thank you. And there is a question: if chitta is the entity that creates the material world, like we have kilesas, and chitta is using them to create the world that we are perceiving, or chitta and material world are very different?
No, the chitta doesn't create anything. The chitta is the knowing element. In this world, everything is made up of the 6 elements. The earth element, the water element, the fire element, the wind element, the space element, and the knowing element. When they combine, they interact, and they create things that we see today. See, the tree comes from the 4 elements. The trees, you have to have water, you have to have earth, you have to have temperature, warm temperature. You have to have air for it to breathe. So when you have this condition, then things appear. And when this condition disappears, then things die. So it's nature that creates itself and destroys itself. No creator. But this 6 component doesn't break down. They always remain forever. Knowing element will always be knowing element. Water element will always be water element. Earth element, fire element, air element. They will always be elements. But sometimes they form together to create something like our body. Our body are formed by the 4 elements, the 6 elements. But one day this element will disappear, will separate, and the body will disappear. That's all. It's just forming and deforming, coming together and going away, coming together and going away. So we have creation and destruction. But it's all work of nature. No creator, nobody create and nobody destroy.
We were asking this question because Buddha in one of the suttas said that the whole world, whatever you experience during your life is manomaya, the illusion of your mind. So we thought maybe it means that mind is creating everything.
No, he means that maya means they are not real in the sense that they only happen temporarily. Like a bubble. You see a bubble and then sooner or later the bubble will disappear, right? So that's maya. It's like a trick, you know. Same way with the body. You see the body today and maybe a few days later it disappears. It dies, it disappears. So everything appears and then they will disappear. So you have to look at them as maya. They're not real. They don't last.
They're not real in terms there is no self, no atta in
No
them.
self. Everything is just a work of the 6 elements interacting with each other or combining with each other. To have animals, to have human beings, to have trees, to have planets, to have the sun. These are all the working of the 6 elements.
Thank you so much. And the last question. We were reading a book by Ajahn Anan, Sotapanna Magga, How to Become Sotapanna, and he says there are 2 ways of developing. Like the one is when you develop your samadhi up to the point where you can enter Panna Samadhi, and only then you start to practice vipassana. And the second one is when you develop your samadhi but not to such a high level, then you practice vipassana and then your samadhi also goes higher, but it seems like it's a slower way. What is better? Like first we should develop our samadhi, only then do investigation, or we should do it like in turns?
Well, I think it's better to develop samadhi first, because you need the strength of samadhi to be able to resist your cravings or your attachment. If you have weak samadhi, you will not be able to detach your attachment to the body. So it's better to practice samadhi until you get full samadhi. And after that, then you come and tackle the detachment by seeing the body as anicca, dukkha, anatta.
And full samadhi means apana samadhi.
Yes, 4th jhana, apana samadhi. And you must have it all day long, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. You're in samadhi, when you come out, you will have samadhi for a while. Then when your mind starts to lose samadhi, you go back into samadhi again. So you maintain samadhi all day long. Once you have that, then you can start contemplating, study the nature of the body, the 5 khandha, as being anicca, dukkha, anatta. And when you see it being dukkha because you attach to it, then you let go of your attachment in order to get rid of your dukkha.
Thank you very much.
Understand? Do you explain to your friend later?
Yes, we'll translate.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Alright. วันนี้เวลาก็หมดพอดีต้องขออภัยท่านที่ถามคำถามในวันนี้ด้วยหรือจะเก็บไว้เผื่อวันหน้าไม่มีคำถามหรือยังไงก็ไม่รู้อย่างเพราะพวกนี้เขารู้สึกจะมาทุกวันก็เห็นใจเขานะเพราะว่าเขาอยู่ไกลเขาอุตส่าห์เดินทางข้ามน้ำข้ามทะเลมาเพื่อมาอยู่วัดมาปฏิบัติธรรมก็ต้องให้โอกาสเขาหน่อยหวังว่าคงจะเข้าใจกันนะท่านที่ถามแล้วไม่ได้ถามก็รอโอกาสหน้าก็แล้วกันสำหรับวันนี้ก็คิดว่าพอสมควรแก่เวลาก็ขอให้ท่านจงนำเอาสิ่งที่ท่านได้ยินได้ฟังไปพินิจพิจารณาไปปฏิบัติเพื่อความสุขความเจริญก้าวหน้าในธรรมยิ่งขึ้นไปเถิดบ๊ายบาย